We got to talk about President Cornholio.
Oh, yeah, we do.
So I tweeted this. Whoever did this should be ashamed. How disrespectful to our president. So here's Joe Biden with Beavis's head. And for those that aren't familiar with what Cornholio is, on Beavis and Butthead, one of the best shows ever, of course, by Mike Judge, Beavis, when he had too much caffeine, would pull his shirt over his head, hold his arms to his sides at a 90-degree angle with fists, and he would say he was the great Cornholio. Joe Biden did that.
He literally did it.
He literally did it. And I don't know why, but I will say this before we talk about just Joe Biden. Going off of what we're talking about with Twitter and the silliness, there's a reason why I tweeted, whoever did this should be ashamed, how disrespectful to our president. It's because I wanted to share the image because it's hilarious, but I also wanted to make it so the media had a difficult time claiming I supported it. Because often what they'll do is, when I tweet something out, like with the Alec Baldwin thing, I said Alec Baldwin is responsible. They started saying Tim Pool wants him arrested and charged. And I'm like, I never said any of that stuff. I just said, ultimately, when it comes to guns, you're responsible. It's in your hand. So here, well, no, I was criticizing this image of Joe Biden as Beavis. See, you see,
I just post the image. I don't give a damn.
Yeah, but so look, we've got the Zeppelin coming. The famous story you guys probably don't know. Everyone else knows. I'm sorry if you hear me tell the story, but for guys, Wikipedia claimed because of some article I invented a Zeppelin that would fly around live streaming, and it was just like insane because I never did. I did work with drones, and so from that I guess someone speculated something, wrote about a whiteboard idea we might have had. Wikipedia for a year said I invented a Zeppelin. They finally removed it. They wouldn't remove it. They said I wasn't reliable, even though I said I never invented it. And so, Ian and I were talking. We're like, let's do it. So, Ian's been helping set this project up where we have the Zeppelin. It's coming. It's going to be here in like a week or two. And then we're going to retroactively make Wikipedia correct. So they'll have to redo it. So I look at how the media is fundamentally broken, how they shill for someone like Biden. And I understand how they do things, why they do things, and understanding how these people in the establishment don't understand jokes. You really can just manipulate their ability to do certain things. So in this instance, it's a tweet of me saying that you should be ashamed for disrupting the president.
I would say I think the country would be better off with a Beavis presidency than currently what we have right now with a Biden presidency. That would be my caption, but that's just me.
Ian, what do you think about President Beavis?
Well,
we would have toilet paper.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
I have a lot of thought. I feel like the reason I haven't been talking is because I feel like I'm going to be a wet blanket if I start talking right now. I feel like text is so dangerous and can be used as a weapon, speech as well. But in this instance, we still don't understand the power of text out of context, especially out of context. And text, satire, like you were saying earlier, be careful. Don't give them any ideas. Like if you make satire like, hey, the oligarchs are coming for me, then whoa, you're putting that out there, and they're going to be like, now's our chance. So that meme was actually pretty funny though.
Beavis is president.
Yeah.
What Newsweek said is the imaginary jetpack. So Newsweek wrote an article about the 5 strange moments you might have missed. The first thing I'll say is you might have missed it because nobody watched it. The ratings were apparently like nightmarishly bad.
I didn't even know what happened.
I didn't either. I had no clue.
Luke was watching some army movie or something.
I was watching like History of the Roman Empire.
Way better.
Which
Isn't
is
that amazing?
Yeah.
You don't even know what he's doing.
How does CNN have the authority to do this, given what they've been doing in terms of putting out garbage news? How do they get the authority to have a town hall with Biden?
I don't know, and Biden wanted to do it, but there's a couple other things too. There was a point where Biden said that corporations aren't paying a cent, and then he made the okay sign and looked through it, and then started whispering for dramatic effect or something. There was obviously he said that he raced Colin Powell, and that Colin Powell he says, well, I won only because he was worried I was going to crash into him. I think that's actually an accurate statement. I'd be scared that he would crash into me as well. So thank you. He misspeaks on Taiwan. This one wasn't that strange, but it was kind of funny. Biden said, if China attacks Taiwan, we will intervene. And the White House was like, stop, don't say that. And then the last one, what was the last one? He forgets the name of the Long Beach port. Now this, I'm going to read you this quote, and I want you to just take it in. Quote, 40% of all products coming, I'm sorry, I'm going to start over. This is from Joe Biden, and I want it really to sink in. Quote, 40% of all products coming into the United States of America on the West Coast go through Los Angeles and... What am I doing here?
What?
Wow. Cooper interjected.
That's the quote.
That's it. What am I doing here?
And then Cooper interjected not to press him on his inability to finish a sentence or properly govern, But to give him the answer, because that's typically what you have an adversarial media do, is fill in the answers for the president who can't finish a sentence.
What am I doing here?
What am I saying here? Where am I going here? That's what he meant. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. If it were the first time,
I think the problem is the media does that. So when Joe Biden says "Tuna not shop at pressure," the media, like, I'll give you a better example because that one's silly.
That one was pretty good though.
Joe Biden will say something like, Americans. We gotta raise taxes on the 1%. And the media will say, Joe Biden said to raise taxes on the 1%. They won't show you that he struggled to speak, he stuttered, he stammered. They'll put quotes in place. And they'll put, Americans, need to tax, the 1%, because they have to cut out all of the things where he's screwing up. If the dude literally says, what am I doing here? That's not something you normally say. You'd go like this. Here's what I'd say. 40% of all products coming into the U.S., on the West Coast, go through L.A. and what's the other one? Long Beach. They go through Long Beach. I wouldn't go. Oh, what am I doing here? Now, if you're a senile old man, you'd say, what am I doing here? And then I got to tell you, if that were me with Biden, Cooper interjected. Is it Long Beach? Long Beach. Thank you. I'd respond with, Mr. President, you're on television live doing a town hall. Is everything all right?
Whatever state he's in.
Whatever state of mind.
If it were the first, 5th, 10th time, but it's systematic, and it is. You can't ignore it. It's out there, and everybody knows. It's just nobody's talking about it.
I mean, we talk about it. This is a funny thing. You guys see the clip with Barry Weiss on CNN with Brian Stelter?
Of course.
You see that. So Barry Weiss, she's been doing a pretty good job, I would say. She's been doing a pretty great job, actually, calling out the stuff. And she was on CNN, and she was like, look at all the stuff that's going on with CRT in schools, and we can't talk about it. We're not allowed. And then Brian Stelter's like, what do you mean not allowed? People talk about it all the time. And it's like, no, Brian, you don't. You never talk about it. You lie. You get in the periphery. You ignore it. He gave 10 seconds to Andy Ngo, and Andy Ngo got beaten by Antifa because he had to. He didn't do a segment on the dangerous journalist's face. So no, people don't talk about it.
Well, no, I mean, a classic example of this is the Kyle Rittenhouse case. So people who've seen the video know the facts, know he's innocent. However, if you talk to the average Kenosha juror, they don't know that. 60% of them presume he's guilty, and the reason why they presume he's guilty is because of mainstream media. It's why we have to go through an extensive jury selection process in the 2 weeks just to get what he's constitutionally entitled to, a presumed innocent jury.
We got this tweet.
Great tweet. Best
Paul
tweet.
Begala.
Oh my gosh.
That sound you hear is the shattering of the right-wing myth about POTUS not being sharp. His wit, command of details, personal engagement are impressive. He's clearly on the top of his game. Not even recommending that folks inject bleach.
But now here's the thing. I read this, not knowing who this guy was. I would think this was satire if I did not know who
it's
that.
It's not the BB. Yeah. Yo, I know Paul Begala. I mean, we talked. I worked in the Clinton White House in the summer of 1993. Begala used to be an old school populist. He used to be indistinguishable from Steve Bannon.
Wow.
He got a lot of money, became a corporate, whatever language
Shill.
you can use on YouTube. Yes.
So
Trump never told people to inject bleach.
Yeah, of course not. It was all nonsense. I mean, it was a ridiculous exaggeration. Now, partially, Trump could have handled aspects of that better, but it's just they need to live in their own world to such a degree they have to now create their own world, and it's going to backfire over time.
I got a little flack for being a little critical of Trump on that video where I said when his excuse was that it was sarcasm was probably not the right word for what he was intending to do there.
Right, yeah.
But I swear to you, that could be as easily parody as seriousness. Could you click on his profile so we could read the
bios and
Oh,
what's it
apparently it's
called?
not going to let me.
He used to be
Hold on,
James
I got
Carville's partner.
Okay.
Back in the day.
Oh, did he really?
Oh, yeah. He helped Harris Wofford win in 1991.
235,000 followers. Author of You're Fired, The Perfect Guide to Beating Donald Trump. CNN contributor. Counselor for President Clinton. Dopey flunky, according to Trump.
Oh, well, yes.
That's true. He is now dopey.
So I look, Joe Biden's town hall.
Can you click on his profile picture?
He stuttered. He stammered. He was all over the place. He voted.
Okay. I know.
He voted.
I know who he is.
I bet he's vaccinated, too.
Biden did not come off as strong. The cornholio thing was weird enough.
It was very weird because I thought someone freeze framed it, it, and I didn't realize the video was still running.
I think he may have been seizing or having a stroke.
Ooh.
That's why Rogan said there's no way he took the actual shot. Because they're like, you watch this guy, you want to give him a shot, and you want to see what he might do, how he might react on live TV.
Yeah, well, there's a number of reasons why I don't think he took the shot, and I agree with Rogan. It's because there's too much risk if he actually did. Because there are people who have adverse reactions to it. There are people who do take it and pass out. So if you're at the White House PR, and when you have, if you're doing the White House PR, be like, Okay, give him the shot later, maybe,
Sure.
but give
I
him some
disagree.
fake shots because
Celine.
the risk
No, hold
risk
on.
is too overwhelming for them to take, and they would never take that risk.
I get the idea. I just disagree. I think the simple solution tends to be the correct one. Joe Biden was on a soundstage. They controlled the feed. They could have given him the shot, and then they just turn it off afterwards anyway.
But
But there was journalists there, right?
Oh, come on.
in the room.
Yeah, a lot of them would have covered it up. but-
Journalists.
Having heard both
Sorry,
arguments.
the government establishment repeaters that
Yeah.
regurgitate all the diarrhea and hot
Biden-
trash that
Biden's
the government
puppet
gives
parrots.
them. Yeah. Now, I was learning about Caligula today.
Oh,
He's
boy.
the mad emperor in
Caligula's horse.
the Roman Empire, and he suffered a brain injury. But before his brain injury, he was actually known as a really great emperor, as a really great leader, a people person who gave the people what they wanted, was very diplomatic, was very smart. Then he had this weird brain injury, and then he went crazy. He went mad. He went through.
He made his horse a
extremely
senator.
exactly. He went through. He did a lot of things we can't even mention on this show. This show is a family-friendly show, but he had cognitive decline and utterly created chaos throughout the entire Roman Empire. Which, and as I'm watching this, as I'm learning this, I'm like, holy cow! Now we have a presidency that clearly the president is going through major cognitive decline. Clearly, the man has 2 brain stints inside of his head right now as we're speaking. Clearly, he's not all there, and we have utter chaos all around us.
Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to watch live, you can check out this channel Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, and if you want more unfiltered and uncensored content with all of these guests, go to timcast.com and become a member. All of these guests you know and love in exclusive segments on our website where we are unrestricted in what we talk about, so you'll definitely not want to miss it. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you all next time.